سورة الصافات.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful.
والصافات صفا.
By those angels ranged in ranks.
فالزاجرات زجرا.
By those angels who drive the clouds in a good way.
فالتاليات ذكرا.
By those angels who bring the book and the Qur'an from Allah to mankind.
إن إلهكم لواحد.
Verily, your God is indeed one.
رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما ورب المشارق.
Lord of the heavens and of the earth, and all that is between them, and Lord of every point of the sun's risings.
إنا زينا السماء الدنيا بزينة الكواكب.
Verily, we have adorned the near heaven with the stars for beauty.
وحفظا من كل شيطان مارد.
And to guard against every rebellious devil.
لا يسمعون إلى الملأ الأعلى ويقذفون من كل جانب.
They cannot listen to the higher group, for they are pelted from every side.
دحورا ولهم عذاب واصب.
Outcast, and theirs is a constant torment.
إلا من خطف الخطفة فأتبعه شهاب ثاقب.
Except such as snatch away something by stealing, and they are pursued by a flaming fire of piercing brightness.
فاستفتهم أهم أشد خلقا أم من خلقنا إنا خلقناهم من طين لازب.
Then ask the polytheists, are they stronger as creation, or those others like the heavens and the earth and the mountains whom we have created? Verily, we created them of a sticky clay.
بل عجبت ويسخرون.
Nay, you wondered at their insolence while they mock at you and at the Qur'an.
وإذا ذكروا لا يذكرون.
And when they are reminded, they pay no attention.
وإذا رأوا آية يستسخرون.
And when they see a sign or an evidence from Allah, they mock at it.
وقالوا إن هذا إلا سحر مبين.
And they say, this is nothing but evident magic.
أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أإنا لمبعوثون.
When we are dead and have become dust and bones, shall we then verily be resurrected?
أَوَآبَاؤُنَا الْأَوَّلُونَ.
And also our fathers of old?
قُلْ نَعَمْ وَأَنْتُمْ دَاخِرُونَ.
Say, yes, and you shall then be humiliated.
فإنما هي زجرة واحدة فإذا هم ينظرون.
It will be a single shout, and behold, they will be staring.
وقالوا يا ويلنا هذا يوم الدين.
They will say, woe to us, this is the day of recompense.
هذا يوم الفصل الذي كنتم به تكذبون.
It will be said, this is the day of judgment which you used to deny.
احشروا الذين ظلموا وأزواجهم وما كانوا يعبدون.
It will be said to the angels, assemble those who did wrong together with their companions from the devils and what they used to worship.
من دون الله فاهدوهم إلى صراط الجحيم.
Instead of Allah, and lead them on to the way of the flaming fire.
وقفوهم إنهم مسؤولون.
But stop them. Verily, they are to be questioned.
ما لكم لا تناصرون.
What is the matter with you? Why do you not help one another as you used to do in the world?
بل هم اليوم مستسلمون.
Nay, but that day they shall surrender.
وأقبل بعضهم على بعض يتساءلون.
And they will turn to one another and question one another.
قالوا إنكم كنتم تأتوننا عن اليمين.
They will say, it was you who used to come to us from the right side.
قالوا بل لم تكونوا مؤمنين.
They will reply, nay, you yourselves were not believers.
وما كان لنا عليكم من سلطان بل كنتم قوما طاغين.
And we had no authority over you. Nay, but you were transgressing people.
فحق علينا قول ربنا إنا لذائقون.
So now the word of our Lord has been justified against us, that we shall certainly have to taste the torment.
فأغويناكم إنا كنا غاوين.
So we led you astray because we were ourselves astray.
فإنهم يومئذ في العذاب مشتركون.
Then verily that day they will all share in the torment.
إنا كذلك نفعل بالمجرمين.
Certainly, that is how we deal with the criminals.
إنهم كانوا إذا قيل لهم لا إله إلا الله يستكبرون.
Truly, when it was said to them, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, they puffed themselves up with pride.
ويقولون أئنا لتاركو آلهتنا لشاعر مجنون.
And they said, are we going to abandon our gods for the sake of a mad poet?
بل جاء بالحق وصدق المرسلين.
Nay, he has come with the truth, and he confirms the messengers before him.
إنكم لذائق العذاب الأليم.
Verily, you are going to taste the painful torment.
وما تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون.
And you will be requited nothing except for what you used to do.
إلا عباد الله المخلصين
Save the chosen slaves of Allah.
أولئك لهم رزق معلوم
For them there will be a known provision in paradise.
فواكه وهم مكرمون
Fruits, and they shall be honored.
في جنات النعيم
In the gardens of delight.
على سرر متقابلين
Facing one another on thrones.
يطاف عليهم بكأس من معين
Round them will be passed a cup of pure wine.
بيضاء لذة للشاربين
White, delicious to the drinkers.
لا فيها غول ولا هم عنها ينزفون
Neither will they have any kind of hurt from that, nor will they suffer intoxication therefrom.
وعندهم قاصرات الطرف عين
And beside them will be chaste wives, restraining their glances, desiring none except their husbands, with wide and beautiful eyes.
كأنهن بيض مكنون
Delicate and pure, as if they were hidden eggs well preserved.
فأقبل بعضهم على بعض يتساءلون
Then they will turn to one another, mutually questioning.
قال قائل منهم إني كان لي قرين
A speaker of them will say, Verily, I had a companion in the world,
يقول أئنك لمن المصدقين
who used to say, Are you among those who believe in resurrection after death?
أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أإنا لمدينون
That when we die and become dust and bones, shall we indeed be raised up to receive reward or punishment according to our deeds?
قال هل أنتم مطلعون
The speaker said, Will you look down?
فاطلع فرآه في سواء الجحيم
So he looked down and saw him in the midst of the fire.
قال تالله إن كدت لتردين
He said, By Allah, you have nearly ruined me.
ولولا نعمة ربي لكنت من المحضرين
Had it not been for the grace of my Lord, I would certainly have been among those brought forth to hell.
أفما نحن بميتين
The dwellers of paradise will say, Are we then not to die anymore?
إلا موتتنا الأولى وما نحن بمعذبين
Except our first death, and we shall not be punished?
إن هذا لهو الفوز العظيم
Truly, this is the supreme success.
لمثل هذا فليعمل العاملون
For the like of this, let the workers work.
أذلك خير نزلا أم شجرة الزقوم
Is paradise better entertainment or the tree of Zaqqum?
إنا جعلناها فتنة للظالمين
Truly, we have made it as a trial for the wrongdoers.
إنها شجرة تخرج في أصل الجحيم
Verily, it is a tree that springs out of the bottom of hellfire.
طلعها كأنه رؤوس الشياطين
The shoots of its fruit stalks are like the heads of devils.
فإنهم لآكلون منها فمالئون منها البطون
Truly, they will eat thereof and fill their bellies therewith.
ثم إن لهم عليها لشوبا من حميم
Then on top of that they will be given boiling water to drink so that it becomes a mixture.
ثم إن مرجعهم لإلى الجحيم
Then thereafter, verily their return is to the flaming fire of hell.
إنهم ألفوا آباءهم ضالين
Verily, they found their fathers on the wrong path.
فهم على آثارهم يهرعون
So they too hastened in their footsteps.
ولقد ضل قبلهم أكثر الأولين
And indeed, most of the men of old went astray before them.
ولقد أرسلنا فيهم منذرين
And indeed, we sent among them warners.
فانظر كيف كان عاقبة المنذرين
Then see what was the end of those who were warned.
إلا عباد الله المخلصين
Except the chosen slaves of Allah.
ولقد نادانا نوح فلنعم المجيبون
And indeed Nuh invoked us, and we are the best of those who answer.
ونجيناه وأهله من الكرب العظيم
And we rescued him and his family from the great distress.
وجعلنا ذريته هم الباقين
And his progeny, them we made the survivors.
وتركنا عليه في الآخرين
And left for him a goodly remembrance among the later generations.
سلام على نوح في العالمين
Peace be upon Nuh from us among the mankind, the jinn, and all that exists.
إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين
Verily, thus we reward the good doers.
إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين
Verily, he was one of our believing slaves.
ثم أغرقنا الآخرين
Then we drowned the others.
وإن من شيعته لإبراهيم
And verily, among those who followed his way was Ibrahim.
إذ جاء ربه بقلب سليم
When he came to his Lord with a pure heart.
إذ قال لأبيه وقومه ماذا تعبدون
When he said to his father and to his people, what is it that which you worship?
أئفكا آلهة دون الله تريدون
Is it a falsehood, gods other than Allah that you desire?
فما ظنكم برب العالمين
Then what think you about the Lord of the mankind, the jinn, and all that exists?
فنظر نظرة في النجوم
Then he cast a glance at the stars.
فقال إني سقيم
And he said, verily I am sick.
فتولوا عنه مدبرين
So they turned away from him and departed for fear of the disease.
فراغ إلى آلهتهم فقال ألا تأكلون
Then he turned to their gods and said, will you not eat of the offering before you?
ما لكم لا تنطقون
What is the matter with you that you speak not?
فراغ عليهم ضربا باليمين
Then he turned upon them, striking them with his right hand.
فأقبلوا إليه يزفون
Then the worshippers of idols came towards him hastening.
قال أتعبدون ما تنحتون
He said, worship you that which you yourselves carve?
والله خلقكم وما تعملون
While Allah has created you and what you make.
قالوا ابنوا له بنيانا فألقوه في الجحيم
They said, build for him a building and throw him into the blazing fire.
فأرادوا به كيدا فجعلناهم الأسفلين
So they plotted a plot against him, but we made them the lowest.
وقال إني ذاهب إلى ربي سيهدين
And he said after his rescue from the fire, verily, I am going to my Lord, He will guide me.
رب هب لي من الصالحين
My Lord, grant me offspring from the righteous.
فبشرناه بغلام حليم
So we gave him the glad tidings of a forbearing boy.
فلما بلغ معه السعي قال يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أذبحك فانظر ماذا ترى قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين.
And when his son was old enough to walk with him, he said, O my son, I have seen in a dream that I am slaughtering you in sacrifice to Allah. So look what you think. He said, O my father, do that which you are commanded. If Allah wills, you shall find me of the patient.
فلما أسلما وتله للجبين
Then, when they both had submitted themselves to the will of Allah, and He had laid him prostrate on his forehead,
وناديناه أن يا إبراهيم
We called out to him, O Ibrahim,
قد صدقت الرؤيا إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين.
You have fulfilled the dream. Verily, thus do we reward the good doers.
إن هذا لهو البلاء المبين.
Verily, that indeed was a manifest trial.
وفديناه بذبح عظيم.
And we ransomed him with a great sacrifice.
وتركنا عليه في الآخرين.
And we left for him a goodly remembrance among the later generations.
سلام على إبراهيم.
Peace be upon Ibrahim.
كذلك نجزي المحسنين.
Thus indeed do we reward the good doers.
إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين.
Verily, he was one of our believing slaves.
وبشرناه بإسحاق نبيا من الصالحين.
And we gave him the glad tidings of Ishaq, a prophet from the righteous.
وباركنا عليه وعلى إسحاق ومن ذريتهما محسن وظالم لنفسه مبين.
We blessed him and Ishaq, and of their progeny are some that do right, and some that plainly wrong themselves.
وَلَقَدْ مَنَنَّا عَلَى مُوسَى وَهَارُونَ.
And indeed, we gave our grace to Musa and Harun.
وَنَجَّيْنَاهُمَا وَقَوْمَهُمَا مِنَ الْكَرْبِ الْعَظِيمِ.
And we saved them and their people from the great distress.
وَنَصَرْنَاهُمْ فَكَانُوا هُمُ الْغَالِبِينَ.
And helped them so that they became the victors.
وَآتَيْنَاهُمَا الْكِتَابَ الْمُسْتَبِينَ.
And we gave them the clear scripture.
وَهَدَيْنَاهُمَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ.
And guided them to the right path.
وَتَرَكْنَا عَلَيْهِمَا فِي الْآخِرِينَ.
And we left for them a goodly remembrance among the later generations.
سلام على موسى وهارون.
Peace be upon Musa and Harun.
إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين.
Verily, thus do we reward the good doers.
إنهما من عبادنا المؤمنين.
Verily, they were two of our believing slaves.
وإن إلياس لمن المرسلين.
And verily, Elias was one of the messengers.
إذ قال لقومه ألا تتقون.
When he said to his people, will you not fear Allah?
أتدعون بعلا وتذرون أحسن الخالقين.
Will you call upon Baal and forsake the best of creators?
الله ربكم ورب آبائكم الأولين.
Allah, your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers.
فكذبوه فإنهم لمحضرون.
But they denied him, so they will certainly be brought forth to the punishment.
إلا عباد الله المخلصين
except the chosen slaves of Allah.
وتركنا عليه في الآخرين
And we left for him a goodly remembrance among the later generations.
سلام على الياسين
Peace be upon Ilyas.
إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين
Verily, thus do we reward the good doers.
إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين
Verily, he was one of our believing slaves.
وإن لوطا لمن المرسلين
And verily, Lut was one of the messengers.
إذ نجيناه وأهله أجمعين
When we saved him and his family all,
إلا عجوزا في الغابرين
except an old woman who was among those who remained behind.
ثم دمرنا الآخرين
Then we destroyed the rest.
وإنكم لتمرون عليهم مصبحين
Verily, you pass by them in the morning.
وبالليل أفلا تعقلون
And at night, will you not then reflect?
وإن يونس لمن المرسلين
And verily, Yunus was one of the messengers.
إذ أبق إلى الفلك المشحون
When he ran to the laden ship,
فساهم فكان من المدحضين
then he agreed to cast lots, and he was among the losers.
فالتقمه الحوت وهو مليم
Then a big fish swallowed him as he had done an act worthy of blame.
فلولا أنه كان من المسبحين
Had he not been of them who glorify Allah,
للبث في بطنه إلى يوم يبعثون
he would have indeed remained inside its belly till the day of resurrection.
فنبذناه بالعراء وهو سقيم
But we cast him forth on the naked shore while he was sick.
وأنبتنا عليه شجرة من يقطين
And we caused a plant of gourd to grow over him.
وأرسلناه إلى 100,000 أو يزيدون
And we sent him to 100,000 people or even more.
فآمنوا فمتعناهم إلى حين
And they believed, so we gave them enjoyment for a while.
فاستفتهم ألربك البنات ولهم البنون
Now ask them, are there only daughters for your Lord and sons for them?
أم خلقنا الملائكة إناثا وهم شاهدون
Or did we create the angels female while they were witnesses?
ألا إنهم من إفكهم ليقولون
Verily, it is of their falsehood that they say,
ولد الله وإنهم لكاذبون
Allah has begotten offspring, and verily they are liars.
أصطفى البنات على البنين
Has he then chosen daughters rather than sons?
ما لكم كيف تحكمون
What is the matter with you? How do you decide?
أفلا تذكرون
Will you not then remember?
أم لكم سلطان مبين
Or is there for you a plain authority?
فأتوا بكتابكم إن كنتم صادقين
Then bring your book if you are truthful.
وجعلوا بينه وبين الجنة نسبا ولقد علمت الجنة إنهم لمحضرون
And they have invented a kinship between him and the jinn. But the jinn know well that they have indeed to appear before him.
سبحان الله عما يصفون
Glorified is Allah. He is free from what they attribute unto him.
إلا عباد الله المخلصين
Except the slaves of Allah whom he chooses.
فإنكم وما تعبدون
So verily, you pagans and those whom you worship,
ما أنتم عليه بفاتنين
cannot lead astray anyone of the believers,
إلا من هو صال الجحيم
except those who are predestined to burn in hell.
وما منا إلا له مقام معلوم
And there is not one of the angels but has his known place.
وإنا لنحن الصافون
And verily we, the angels, we stand in rows for the prayers as you Muslims stand in rows for your prayers.
وإنا لنحن المسبحون
And verily, we indeed are those who glorify Allah.
وإن كانوا ليقولون
And indeed, the Arab pagans used to say,
لو أن عندنا ذكرا من الأولين
if we had a reminder as had the men of old,
لكنا عباد الله المخلصين
we would have indeed been the chosen slaves of Allah.
فكفروا به فسوف يعلمون
But now that the Qur'an has come, they disbelieve therein, so they will come to know.
ولقد سبقت كلمتنا لعبادنا المرسلين
And verily, our word has gone forth of old for our slaves, the messengers.
إنهم لهم المنصورون
That they verily would be made triumphant.
وإن جندنا لهم الغالبون
And that our hosts, they verily would be the victors.
فتول عنهم حتى حين
So turn away from them for a while.
وأبصرهم فسوف يبصرون
And watch them, and they shall see the punishment.
أفبعذابنا يستعجلون
Do they seek to hasten on our torment?
فإذا نزل بساحتهم فساء صباح المنذرين.
Then, when it descends in their courtyard, evil will be the morning for those who had been warned.
وتول عنهم حتى حين.
So turn away from them for a while.
وأبصر فسوف يبصرون.
And watch, and they shall see the torment.
سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون.
Glorified is your Lord, the Lord of honor and power. He is free from what they attribute unto him.
وسلام على المرسلين.
And peace be on the messengers.
والحمد لله رب العالمين.
And all praise and thanks are Allah's, Lord of the mankind, the jinn, and all that exists.